Estonia.
Annette Baum. Fortunately, no wind in play at all, thanks to the rain, which has been falling all day here.
Two Estonians with the white hats right in the centre of the field there. The red boat.
Down it goes.
Zverkova.
Kisley, the paddler to watch here.
Closest to us, Kristina Bedek in the green. Next to Poland's Zasenska. Kisley. There's Johnson.
Kalamita.
Johnson just watched her brother qualify in the men's, and we'll be hoping for the same. It's looking tough on the far side, coming over from the far side, I think. Could be Milova. No, it's the Italian, sorry. That's Kalamita in the white boat. So Bedek, Kisley, the Kalamita, the Slovakian is Zverkova, 95 is Winter.
The Kalamita in the white boat, just on under Kisley's right.
And then trailing out towards the back end of the field. So the Kalamita in the white boat, probably the surprise there, to me at least. Winter just going to be squeezed out of that V by 1:0. No, she's not. She's just going to overtake. Okay, 1:01 there from Slovakia, who, well, I don't know what goes on there. Winter had no right to keep that, but she never even looked troubled. She could always see that the Slovakian was going to get out of her way. A little bit naive at best from the Slovakian there.
Bottom turn, and the Van der Kisley bus is full at this stage. See if she's comfortable to tow this bunch through 3 laps.
Melissa Johnson coming around nicely on the inside of that turn just to make contact with this group, and I think she's going to make it. Just got to get to the back of any one of those boats. Doing a good job. Struggled a little at the start and now is back in the game. So Hungary, Italy, Serbia, Denmark, Czech Republic, Milova, Australian, Slovakian. It's Rachel de Kretzer from Australia. Haven't given her a shout out yet. They come in to portage number 1. The speed goes up just a tad. Johnson at the back there of that group. A good portage will see her position cemented.
Bedek looking comfortable on Van der Kisley's wave. Let's see if she can assert herself at all on the portage.
Milova and de Kretzer.
She's out quickly. Van der,
oh my word,
runs away alone. Yeah. Bedek's only one capable of staying with her at this stage. Oh,
there's all sorts going on in the background back there. You can't see it all, but it took some people, Melissa Johnson, one of them, a long time to get out.
Traffic jam.
But they're well spread out. There's still a ladder all the way to the front. Just got to make contact.
Van der Kisley, who will ever forget that solo charge in Denmark that took her to yet another world title.
So she's away. Anderson did exactly the same in the first heat.
Kisley hugging the right-hand bank to stay out of the current.
I think Kisley not as motivated as Anderson to stay away. I think she's pretty comfortable doing what she's doing. Still contact among all the others. Could soon come back together again as a group.
So Wanda Kisley has, ladies and gentlemen, 7 gold medals already for Hungary. I logice tu 8. i 9. na ovom svetskom prvenstvu, pa i 10. normalno u K2, ali
Kisley from Winter, from Bedek, from Milova. Certainly at this stage, the final of this looks to be a 2-horse race.
Well, it sets up a mouth-watering clash between two that are clearly in a class of their own.
Yeah. You do think it's going to come down to the portage in. Neither one of those is going to be strong enough to paddle away from the other, I don't think. And this is well strung out now. Back to single file after those front 4.
Lots of support for the Argentinian, Leila Hughes. Thanks for all the vamos comments coming in for her. But every now and then you get a generation of paddlers that is dominated by one, and Wanda Kisley has made this generation her own. Provides a litmus test for any other aspiring elite paddler. Can I just sit with her for 10 minutes? Prove that I'm as good, as human as she is. I copped a fair amount of abuse for calling her a juggernaut in Denmark.
And rightly so, Dave.
But when she gets into...
It's not a description of a female.
But when she gets into a zone like that, it would be... I would hate to race somebody like that. It would terrify any paddler to see somebody get into such a high-end, high-efficiency, terrifyingly fast zone like that. Just
the finals of these races are going to be super, super good.
Here's a tough question for you, and you've watched them over the years. Best female paddler of our generation that you've ever seen?
In the marathon?
In marathon. And you've got some big names to compare here. If you could take all the legends and mash time together so that they could race each other at their prime, who would you like to see in that race, and who do you think would win?
I hate those conversations because it's so difficult, because you go right back, Suzanne Gunnarsson.
Yeah.
You've got right back, you've got Anna Hemmings, you've got Vanda, Renata
Shai.
Melina now has to be in that. I'm probably missing some as well. I'm hopeless with recall. But any one of those people you name would believe they could win that race, and that's what's good. Anyone on their day is unbeatable, and they're all... Yeah, you can't even compare speeds, because speeds change over time, and people go the speed they need to go to win, and all those people you listed are winners. And
yeah, but speed and tactics and the nature of the game has also evolved.
Yeah,
the boats have evolved, the equipment has evolved. Everything has changed. So it's a real rhetorical question. Into the portage comes Wanda Kisley.
Oh, little slip on the edge there. Something that picked up the rubber bit on
that. Yeah, it does seem to be
where she got out there.
End of that first pontoon.
Melissa Johnson back in the game, looking good. Milova in the blue shirt there. Formidable. The difference between those two, the winner of this and the heat before, has been their ability to run.
Boat going sideways as they descend down the bottom end of the portage.
Away she goes.
Powerful leg drive, hasn't she? I mean,
Bedek looking very unsure of herself as she left that pontoon. Milova with her, as is Winter.
Pippa McGregor.
She was also 8-time world, 9-time world champion, 7 times European
Wife of Hank McGregor, won the gold in the mixed doubles in the Masters.
No one can ever take that away, Dave.
No, it was
31 years end of December.
interesting race.
Is now all the way to the final. She escaped and she's still there and she's pushing now.
Kisley.
Last meters before.
So Kisley 1, then Bedek 2, Milova 3, I think.
Will go along Vanda Kisley to the finals. La задача е исто врстити у велики финале. То ćemo tak vidjeti. Vanda Kisley je sigurno tamo. Evo je još jedna na velikem ekranu. Rekli smo isto i evropska.
Vanda inspiring another generation of paddlers in her home country. And she does it with such grace.
Yeah, she's lovely.
She's, you know, when people actually bother her for photographs or autographs, she is generous and gracious, and we have a fair number of elite athletes that can excel and win at the highest level, but it doesn't necessarily make them good role models. Vanda is one of the good role models, and it's
Winter just moving up on Bedek, trying to get a little more comfortable there. Top 4, I think Melissa Johnson 5 currently.
Also reached some finals of the last events we've been following in the last years.
so a cavernous lead
Denmark,
for Hungary's Vanda Kisley.
for example, today was the last World Championship. She finished 9th in the Telecom yesterday.
And it sets up what is going to be a mouth-watering showdown, hopefully a little bit later this afternoon in the final of the women's short course. Bedek, Milova, Winter. Gotcha, Brett.
Just kind of waiting for this one to finish now, Dave. I feel like we've seen this now. It's sad. When you give someone this good, it's so impressive, but it takes away some of the drama from it as well. And sometimes you have to be impressed by the race, and sometimes you have to be impressed by the performance. And you know, both these heats have been blown away, haven't they, by somebody who's just put in a great performance.
But that's why we watch first round games in Grand Slam tennis tournaments, because ultimately it leads to something down the line which you know is going to be special.
That's a good point.
You've had enough time to see them both on the water. The two that are head and shoulders above the rest in terms of this, nail your colours to the mast. Who's going to take this?
Well, Anderson won last year.
Just. From Kisley.
I'm going to go with Kisley.
She's looked really relaxed and composed and together in this day here in Metkovic. And
I have a terrible track record of being right on those things, though.
yeah, you do.
I am, yeah.
Rachel de Kretje in the Australian colours there.
She's had a good day.
Solid. When you get to the top of your game like Vanda is at the moment, or Mads is, you have the opportunity to positively influence the game, and we've talked about different ways of doing it. It struck me that Mads has now used his profile, particularly in his home country, to leverage it for good. I saw him frantically signing jerseys that he won his world champs into auction
Oh,
for a
nice.
charity that sends helpers into kids' cancer hospitals. And I step back from that saying, you don't need to do that. Well done. Big up to you. I mean, that is stepping outside of the zone that you need to fulfill, want to fulfill, and do something with your profile.
So Kisley across the line any minute now, on her own from portage number 1, as was Anderson in the previous heat, and it's going to be game on between these two in the final. It's very hard to see how anyone else can mix it with either of them.
She just has the capacity to get that boat to be so efficient. It hardly bobs. It's so true in the water.
15 minutes, pretty much bang on. I don't suppose either of us looked at the time of the first heat, did we? Bedek ahead of Winter. That's second and third.
6 safely through.
Then Milova. Then it's this 3 here, Johnson, the Australian,
That's 4, 5, 6.
and the Slovakian,
Svikova.
De Kretzer, McGregor.
Pippa McGregor's come through the field strongly in the second half of the race. She's
well down on the start.
going to be good enough to
come through.
She's going to make that final, which will please her.
I don't know, because there's still others coming across the line now. 92 from Poland, Setsna.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, top 20 athletes will proceed to the finals. Top 6, according to their times, in the semi-final.
Comes McGregor now.
Whatever you want. You have once again Pippa McGregor. So once again, race number 1 and race number 2, top 6 athletes will proceed to the
Formed quite a formidable combination with husband Hank, not only in marathon races but in surf ski races as well.
Yeah.
They've been very successful. They've won a bunch of races. And you get into deep trouble for mentioning women's ages.
Hughes
But
from Argentina. Don't go there, Dave.
I'm like walking into a minefield
Hoda
here.
from Japan, battling with Hughes from Argentina.
104 and 106 now, entering the finish line for
The strongest Japanese paddler we've seen, apart from Jokos, obviously, who's not strictly Japanese.
Honami has paddled beautifully.
I think that's the strongest Japanese paddler we've seen. Oh no!
Oh!
Oh,
The Vamos Hughes. Vamos Leila. Oh, look at her. She cannot believe what has just happened to her.
she is literally 15 meters from the finish, but the
She's-
flow is going away from the finish.
She's being washed downstream.
She's drifting downstream
Oh, that's
now.
and it
Unbelievable.
really does cast an unnecessary shadow over a great performance. The rescue boat's coming together. Ah,
15
heartbreaking
meters
for her.
or less from the end. So unfair.
But you're right. Honami Toda paddled beautifully for Japan.